Good day everyone, welcome to a new market update, and today we're going to discuss the Bitcoin movements. As we can see that we're still stuck in the range, while today is the unlock of the Grayscale holdings, meaning that we could be having some volatility or it's going to be a big non-event, which is usually the case with all those narratives. Before we are going to discuss that topic, do not forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel beneath, and also do not forget to like this YouTube update if you enjoy the content that we are making. And given the fact that we are increasing our team, the content will only become better over the coming months as we want to build further and don't want to stick on the same level. So let's discuss the Grayscale holdings, which is the unlock of GBTC, which is the Grayscale Bitcoin Fund. It's a sort of ETF, meaning that there is not a Bitcoin unlock, it's an unlock of GBTC, which is the case that if you are a holder of one of those, you need to hold those for 6 months, after which they become tradable in the secondary markets. And today is one of those first days, and throughout the entire month of July you will see that more of those unlocks will be happening. And on the screen you can see that the holdings have been dropping down a little bit, but still Grayscale holds 650k. We also know that there used to be a premium which has flipped to a discount since the crash that we had in May. And there's lots of confusion about the fact whether it's going to impact the prices of Bitcoin, but in general it shouldn't, as it's an unlock of GBTC. If you think a little bit further, you could say that those investors have been buying the Bitcoins around the same level, but with a premium during those periods, so they actually need Bitcoin to cover their losses that they made with the purchase of these GBTCs. So what is happening right now in the markets is that there's not much happening. While there is still lots of fundamental stuff happening, we've got the news from Fidelity, we've got the news from Paraguay, but also some other countries are waking up right now with the fact that Bitcoin might become a legal tender. But because of the fact that not much is happening, the core focus right now is this central topic, which is the Grayscale unlocks, which I'd like to put into the same category as Chinese New Year, US tax season, all those narratives that usually are being used in the markets as a narrative for why X or Z has to happen in the market in itself. But overall we are still in a sideways structure, and yes, sometimes there is a movement after such a thing takes place. It's the same with how the sun is standing towards Mars or whatever. So does it mean that you can build a strategy out of it? No, you can't. You still have to look at data in the forms of price action in itself, and also other on-chain analysis showing you where we are in the cycle. So basing your own strategy on the fact that there will be an unlock of Bitcoin, and therefore deriving that the price drops down, and therefore you're just selling somewhere, that's not a strategy to use. Let's get to the charts, in which we also have the Wyckoff structure that is still valid. We still have a very normal accumulation period here, with Bitcoin just holding on support. The critical support that I have derived here is the area around 32.6 to 32.9, which you preferably want to see sustain as support to avoid another test of the lows. And if it's not holding support, I think you should be looking at 31 as the final hurdle of support in this entire range. And yes, we can see that we're still making lower highs, but on the other hand we are also making higher lows. So probably Bitcoin is at this stage looking for such a higher low. And once again, if it does that between 32.6 to 32.9 or in the region of 31, we can continue making the movements to the upside, and then we are seeking for higher highs. So people call me a bull tart, but you want to see these levels hold, and then you can look to the upside. If 31 doesn't hold, and I've been saying that for the past few weeks also, then you're going to look at this next level, which is the blue color around 24. So there's not much in volatility yet to be happening right now, except for AXS, but the Wyckoff structure is still valid. Grayscale unlocks usually are a big non-event for you to watch out for, and the crucial levels that you should be watching for Bitcoin are quite clear here. I'll just drive it with another chart too, which we have been using previously, including the text. What we have been seeing in the previous days is that we've got this breaker to the upside above the range, couldn't hold, and therefore rejected again at the previous resistance, which is very comparable to the breakdown of Bitcoin at 60k. Support held around 32.7, bounce up, another rejection here, making a lower high, bounce to the south, another rejection here, lower high. Then the critical level, like in this rejection here, the critical level is this entire region. We couldn't even get there, but we rejected. Is this red block. That is the critical resistance that you want to break through. Right now, given this rejection, it is getting a little bit lower, as this is the entire resistance zone that you want to crack through, right? So you want to break this range around 34.3, and then you probably can expect a very volatile move. So this is the first one, and then you also have all these levels, but these have been tested. So breaking this one breaks this entire construction. You can look at this in the fact that we can start making new highs, and then we can start looking at this range at 38k. So right now the critical level on the downside, as we can see here and also in this text, is this level between 32.6 to 32.9. If that doesn't hold, I'm looking at a final hurdle around 31 to 31.6. Critical level that we have to break on the upside is this range around 34k. If that breaks, I still remain bullish until 38k, or at least that we're going to test higher levels overall. So that's my update for today. I hope you have enjoyed it. Do not forget to subscribe beneath, and I'll see you again tomorrow.